Government and industry leaders say generative artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize national security, military, and civilian operations. One challenge agency leaders have found is how to procure GenAI solutions. On this program, you'll learn about the ways agencies are acquiring, testing, and scaling GenAI solutions from government and industry leaders. The speed at which the GenAI movement is growing across government is complicating the acquisition process. David Appel is Vice President for Federal at AWS. When I ask him how agencies should approach AI, he tells me his answer has changed over the last year or so.
A year ago, when GenAI started, I think it was, no one was sure what to do with it. It was the new buzzword, and there were some initial prototyping and proofs of concepts. But what we're really seeing now, agencies lean in a little bit further and really see how can we get to production workloads faster. They're starting to see the benefits of the efficiencies they can drive, allowing humans to focus on the value add that a human can make a decision or get to true insights. But the overall cultural change of adopting the technology has really started to pick up pace in the recent months.
The human value add, I think, is really an important element to highlight because that's the message that agencies have been trying to send to their employees. This is not going to replace you, not just now, but at no point in the future is that the goal of the agency, to replace the human with the technology. Why has that maybe been a tougher nut to crack than they think?
I think it's maybe just it's change. It's human nature. It's change. But there's so much mundane things that have to happen, whether it's in the intel community or Department of Defense, the data ingestion and sorting through the data and trying to make sense of data. A lot of that a computer can do, or the GenAI can do. What you really want the human to focus on is on the higher end, what decisions do I want to make now? Not let the computer make the decisions for you or automatically do something, but allow the human to make the right decisions and provide better courses of action to maybe make decisions. And that's where I think we'll start to see real benefits on both mission outcomes, but also time and energy and space to allow humans to focus on those higher end areas.
The term mission outcomes reminds me that the leaders that I talk to all across government, this might be the first technology in the 2 decades or so that I've been covering the government where people have focused on mission outcomes instead of, I want to get some, whatever the new technology is, and then figure out a way to use it. What do you think's driving that, and what's the benefit that the government will realize by thinking about mission outcomes as opposed to technology implementation?
Well, I think because of the overall just pace of change with technology, and there's data overload. Certainly in various parts of the government, there's new sensors being put up, whether it's a weather sensor or it's an intelligence sensor, and the pace of that is there's not enough humans to handle all of that, and so I think there's some more acceptance to that regard. And as technology continues to change and people get more comfortable with it, I think it's opening up the doors more.
How are you seeing the effective collaboration between government and industry work? What are the components of that as GenAI really takes hold in cross?
Well, I think that it comes in various areas. First of all, the technology is coming out of industry and the non-traditional areas of the industrial base for the government, and so there's a collaboration that has to happen on culture, on training, on ways to adopt the technology, and also how to show how it can actually provide that mission outcome through proofs of concepts or other aspects. At AWS, we're excited to have that. We have a large ecosystem of partners that we utilize that bring mission knowledge to some of our customers as well, and then we help them with various incentives to get them to help adopt the technologies faster. In June of this year at our DC summit, we announced a $50 million incentive in our public sector to help organizations adopt GenAI faster through promotional credits, through training, through technical services to help understand the technology and solve real world problems.
What can government do to be a better partner in that collaboration? What can you and other industry people do to be a better partner in that collaboration?
From a government perspective, the government by nature is risk adverse, and rightfully so. I think what on the government side, and we're seeing it now, is better leadership and saying we need to move in this area. We need to break through the frozen middle, and that is occurring. But it does take time. And then on the industrial base side, is we need to realize that the world is changing, the technology is changing, the way all of us have done business for the last 10, 20, 30 years is not necessarily how we're going to do business in the future. So we have to adopt that change and take advantage of the programs that we have to help incentivize to accelerate that change. Our marketplace program and our IC marketplace program is a great example of where we now have the ability for the government to quickly access these companies and our SaaS providers to quickly utilize the GenAI or other technologies versus having to go through the long procurement processes because it's already in place. So there are ways to do this and do it fast.
We have about a minute left, and the future is where I want to finish up. What do you see over the horizon that government people should be paying attention to now regarding GenAI that will impact them in 12, 24, 36 months? Is there even a way to predict it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wish I had a crystal ball. But I think the way I'd answer that is we're just scratching the surface right now. And realize this is the future. And I think if we start with just accepting it as the future and diving in, where the possibilities over the next 12, 24, 36 months are really limitless. And for the types of things that our government does to improving citizens' experience, to improving our national security, Gen AI and these technologies are going to be critical to our future, and we need to figure out how to embrace them.